What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. This is episode 2 of the Unapologetic Podcast. What has been a week for you fine people has been almost a month for us because someone decided to fuck around and quarantine. Don't want to say any names, but
all I'm going to say is that I was never positive.
Positive for being sexy, Robert.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what you tested positive.
I'll take that.
Wow, what a compliment. Jesus. But today, on today's episode, what we wanted to do is we wanted to talk about and focus all of our attention on our boy, the magnificent, the marvelous, Roberto Domingo Peña.
Hola.
Say hi, Robert.
Hey, guys.
So, I'm sorry. As always, episode 2, Unapologetic, accompanied by Jamie.
That's me.
Yep, and Robert, who I just introduced also.
I'm going to say hi again.
We're getting the hang of it, guys, okay? Just bear with us.
So, but real quick, Robert has a lot of good names. I need a few more names.
Okay, listen, these are all the names that I can think of that I've given Robert.
Yeah, Rob Stark.
Yeah, Rob
Robco.
Stark. Bambino.
What's the other one I call you?
Robbie Ray Garcia.
Robbie
that's
Ray.
Robbie
Robbie Ray Rana.
Ray Rana. What are the other ones? Robert, what are the other ones? Rob.
You guys are the
Bob.
ones that call me.
Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby Tarantino.
Bobby Tarantino. That's another one.
Oh, Rob Zombie.
Rob
Yeah.
Zombie.
Did you say that one?
No, I didn't.
That's...
God damn, Robert.
You got
My
one.
name is just fucking Jesus. That's it.
The Assassinator.
The Assassinator. Senor Sass.
Senor
Got it on
Sass.
PlayStation.
You got some good ones though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Hachu.
What?
Hachu. Yeah. That's one that my cousin Ramiro gave me like a long time ago.
I don't think I've heard that
Never
one.
heard that one.
And then, hey, Seuss.
Oh yeah.
See, this is why I go by Jesse, because y'all motherfuckers can't just, stick to the name Jesus. You got to be coming up with all kinds of nicknames. But sorry, back to the topic at hand. Today we wanted to focus all of our attention on our boy Robert. I'm sure by the title, from the title and from the thumbnail by now, y'all have got a pretty good idea of what this podcast, this episode is going to be about. Our best friend, Robbie Ray Rana. He's 28 years old, and he still hasn't popped that sweet, sweet cherry. And we are here to talk about it, to let it all out in the open. Something that, we even haven't had a discussion about, and what better way to do it than, to do it on the podcast.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy. Yeah.
This
is like, yeah, we're here.
I mean, down to it, it's like super personal, but, I got to talk about it.
You do?
know? And it's not like something that I'm ashamed of. I want to get that out of the way, like right from the beginning. I'm not like, oh man, I'm 28, still hasn't happened, but, it's not like, oh, I'm such a loser, I'm sure some people think that way, but, it's not something that's on my mind.
Okay, Robert, and real quick, let me just say this, to shed some light on that. You said, this is something really personal. I think that, you sharing this, this type of, I guess, real, this type of, I guess, information, could be, you don't have any shame. You don't, you're not ashamed of who you are, but somebody out there probably is. There's a lot of people out there that probably don't feel the way you do.
Yeah.
So you being able to come up on here on this platform, in front of a bunch of people and talk about it, share your experience, you'd be helping somebody out.
And that's the least I could do.
I don't think it, like you said, it's not a thing to be ashamed of or whatever. Like, whatever you want to do or however you want to do it, who cares, right?
Your life.
But like, there's that big mentality that it does seem almost like you're like, oh, what? That doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, it's not my fault that I'm not, sleeping around like you. Like, I don't want to do that,
For me, sex is kind of, I don't want to say it's not important, but it's not something that I put on a pedestal. That whole saying, put pussy on the pedestal. It's not something I do, but it's also something that I don't want you to miss out on.
Yeah.
Because, man, it's amazing. You know what I mean? It's pretty
is?
great. It's nice.
What is?
Sex. Yeah,
Ah.
sexual intercourse. And
Do you have a preference?
what do you mean?
What do you mean preference?
Taco or sausage?
Wait, I don't want to make it seem like I'm thinking about a taco. I was still trying to absorb your question. Shit, you made me lose my train of thought. Like look at this. Look at it this way, Robert. Before we get into like the questions and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember like a long time ago, you know, probably like almost 10 years ago, you know, I used to pressure you, and it's probably, pressure's a strong word, but I remember I used to kind of like talk to you about, you know, having sex, and Robert, make sure that you get it in, make sure you do everything you got to do, pussy this, pussy that, right? And I remember James over here would be like, oh, this is when you were with JC still. He'd be like, Robert, don't listen to them. It's okay to wait, you know, because I think we had spoken about you waiting for marriage or something like that back then.
Well, that goes back to how I was, you know, brought up.
Right.
You know, with the whole religion and everything.
Right.
You know,
And that's another thing too that you got to take into account. But like with James, you know, he gave you the advice to wait, you know, not saying that that's, you know, you're not where you're at now, but back then when I was giving you my advice, he was telling you to wait and stuff like that because of his situation and what he believed at that point. Now look at this motherfucker. This dude's sticking his dick in anything that walks.
Anything. Invitation sent.
Oh, God.
You heard it here first.
That's an unapologetic first. Premiere. World premiere.
Oh, God.
He's willing to just put it anywhere.
Put it out there. Right?
Just put it anywhere.
Out there, in there, up there, below it.
Oh, God.
I'm out, about, amongst, beside, between, beyond,
Betwixt.
by, down, betwixt. What are the other prepositions?
I don't know. I think you pretty much covered them all.
Yeah.
I have.
Enough. More than I wanted to hear, for sure.
With my genitalia.
Yes.
God.
With your penis.
Oh, what? Oh.
I said it. It's the first time.
Pretty sure it's okay.
Definitely
to say
not the
something
last.
Like that.
Did I say penis on the first episode?
I don't know.
I probably did.
If you didn't, it was on your mind.
Yeah, probably. But okay, Robert. Yeah, to get back to, you know, what we wanted to talk about and questions I wanted to ask you to start us off, basically. And guys, I want everybody listening to this to know that these are questions that if I can't remember, or if I've forgotten, but I'm pretty sure these are questions that I've never asked. And not necessarily that I've always wanted to ask, but, you know, whenever we decided to do this podcast, I mean, you give me almost a fucking month to think of questions.
Yeah.
So, and James, you're pretty good at just coming up with questions, you know, just out of nowhere with you know, your twisted ass mind. But, I guess the one question that I wanted to ask and I wanted to start with was, what do you think it was that got you to this point to be, and I don't mean this in any type of derogatory way, but to be almost 30 years old and still be a virgin?
Well, like I said earlier, a big part of it was my upbringing, you know, with my family kind of instilling in that we should wait till marriage. That was a big factor up until, well, not like up until, but it definitely influenced me during, like, you know, school years and then even then afterwards. I tended to try to avoid a relationship because I thought that's what came with it. So, not that I wasn't looking for a girlfriend, but I wasn't actively seeking one. You know what I mean?
So what do you mean you thought that wasn't what came with it? What do you mean?
Well, in a relationship, you know, like I thought once I got a girlfriend or something, eventually that would lead to that. And I thought maybe if I kind of avoided that, I wouldn't be tempted to, you know,
Yeah, have sex.
and
Or have sexual
break the whole
thoughts or anything like
thing.
that. Do you feel that maybe because, you know, speaking to your dad, for that time that I did, and how he was speaking about your mom and love at first sight and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and basically, you know, he found his soulmate.
Yeah, that.
Do you think that maybe kind of influenced you to, I guess, have and share the beliefs that you do?
Oh, heavily. Like the whole way my dad talks about my mom and how he met her and the whole story, it kind of just like, it was kind of like a fairy tale to me when I was a kid. You know, like meeting that one person that was going to be so special. And I guess I just haven't met that person yet. Not and I
Look,
guess it just hasn't clicked.
right.
You know
Well,
what I mean?
see, and I want to be as optimistic as I can with you, and I always am, and I
Yeah.
always try to be as honest with you as I can. But I feel like back then, obviously times have changed.
Yeah, it's a whole different.
Your dad, everything that he was experiencing back then, there wasn't internet, there
No.
wasn't any cell phones, no shit like
Yeah.
that. So it was really organic, for your mom and your dad to meet the way they did, and for their relationship to blossom the way it did. But in this day and age, man, that's all it is a fairy tale.
It is, and it's sad, and it kind of like hurts me a little bit because
Right,
like
right. But that's at least we're at the point where I feel like I've told you so many times that your current situation, what it's going to be like because of
yeah,
your age,
yeah,
because of the people that we're around. I mean, we're almost 30 years old, and this isn't to take shots against any women, of any type of living situation, but there are single mothers out there. A lot of them are single mothers. A lot of them have had terrible relationships, so either way there's going to be a lot of repairing, rebuilding, stuff that's difficult, especially because you don't have that experience with relationships.
yeah,
James, I think you could touch on that a little bit, right?
Yeah, like I don't think it's a single mother kind of thing. It's just that by the time we're at this age, I mean, no, I can't speak for women, right? But I can speak for myself, and I've been in really committed relationships earlier on too, and had that led to a kid, clearly the relationship didn't work out. Well, then there would be the kid, and so the women and men have had the time to feel love, to fall in and out of it, to feel heartbreak, or to you know break other people's hearts because of the change and whatever. So it's like, yeah, you're at that point now where, well, they've experienced it, but that's not a bad thing, even though you haven't, or have had the situation to fall in or out to. But that's what you're going on now, and so these people have had these expectations either met or hearts broken and trust lost and all this. So it's tough because, in a way, the earlier years are like the trial and error years
Mm-hmm.
too, and
Absolutely.
you go into it and you're like with my first long term relationship. We were together 6 years pretty much, but
I don't know if you heard that, but I just gotta pop up on like at 5 minutes.
malware.
I don't know how to turn that shit off. I don't know how to turn that shit off. Sorry.
It
Go
keeps
ahead.
popping up.
It
Dude.
does.
Yeah.
Got viruses.
But anyways,
No, but just to kind of touch. Oh, sorry. I don't want to interrupt. You were going to talk about your first relationship.
oh yeah. I messed up on that. That was my learning curve, or my time to learn, because I thought that was it. I mean, we all thought that we were gonna get married,
Oh, for
and
sure.
you know,
Yeah, I didn't
yeah.
see
So
any. I
long.
didn't see any other type of outcome.
no,
Yeah,
no, right.
Yeah.
And then what happened, right? Like, but
Hmm.
that was all my fault. I mean, I'm sure there were things here and there that built up to it, but the immaturity I had at the time, I was able to learn from that heartbreak and be like, "Ah, you know what? I do need to focus more on myself, less on the relationship. Not less per se, but to balance it out."
And that took time.
Yeah.
That's like half a year for
Yeah.
you to really kind of come to terms with everything.
Well, and then other relationships.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay, then I need to make sure I don't put too much and I'm overbearing because I,
yeah,
I wasn't focused enough on it. I was too focused on it. Like, you had
you
to
just
find
gotta
the right
find that.
balance.
Yeah, middle ground.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and one thing that I want to touch on what James is saying to kind of summarize everything is everything that he's been through, I've been through. God, everything I've been through is something that you've never experienced. So it's kind of like you're 10 years behind.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Everything that we've done, everything I've been through, everything James has been through, you haven't experienced yet. And it's going to suck because everything that's happened to us, you should have felt already.
yeah,
And who knows? There might be a situation where you meet somebody and you don't have to go through that. You have found the one. But man, that's like a needle in a haystack, and you know that. I mean, just know, and this is something that sounds stupid and something that I'm gonna have to slap the shit out of you a few times, but you have to know that, you know, you're being taught something. It's a lesson.
Yeah.
My relationships, one, I don't want to speak, you know, or mention any names, but it was in Oklahoma. Man, that motherfucker set the tone. That relationship, not gonna lie, you know, I fucked up so many times, you know, but I wasn't the only one. It was toxic. It was back and forth, and you know, I was probably a big part of the reason why it didn't work out, you know, in the end. But I'll tell you what, man, it allowed me to be able to compare what I had then and what I have now, and the differences, and just how much better and how much more I can appreciate things that I wasn't mature enough to appreciate then. And it just comes in experience, man. It comes in time. You're gonna get your heart broken. You're gonna get your heart ripped out of your fucking chest and stomped on. You're gonna be confused. You're gonna be led on, and I think you've already experienced that.
Oh yeah.
Just a plethora of things. And the shitty part, like I said about all that, is that I've already experienced all that, and all I can do is try to like explain that experience to you.
Kind of like transfer it to me.
Transfer as much as I can. If I could put a plug in my fucking head, dude, and put it to your head, so you can go everything I went through.
But like feel all your emotions and stuff.
I would, man. I would. So just so you wouldn't have to go through all the bullshit. I put that shit in your head, and after I plug it out, you can be like, ugh.
You or him? You, right?
Yeah. No. Him. Him.
He's already experienced
I'm stronger than ever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm just like,
yeah. Him feeling what I've been through almost kills him.
Oh,
Puts
yeah.
him in a cardiac arrest almost.
It's like a
like a seizure.
He's like looking at the screen, like crying, his eyes just peeled open.
Also, real quick, to everybody listening to this episode, if you've made it this far, I am trying so hard, okay? And I haven't said this to y'all yet. I am trying so fucking hard to not say you know. So hard.
Have you said it at all?
You know what? Now that you've said that, I don't think you've said it a single time.
No, I have.
Now.
I have counted. It's probably been like a few times, but I am trying so fucking hard to choose my words carefully. I'm not kidding. I said you know probably like over 1,000 times in the first episode. Okay, it was the first episode. Okay,
Hey, that's all right though.
right?
Yeah.
You know, that's
Getting the title for the
comfortable.
episode.
What'd you say?
I said it,
Yeah, I said it too earlier.
but only because it made sense in the context. Like
Yeah.
I just now you're overly analyzing yourself, and you're like, okay,
It's tough. I feel like because I'm constantly explaining something,
yeah.
so I'm like, oh yeah, you know, oh yeah, is it you know, you know what I mean? Yeah, and
It's like clarification or justification on what you said.
Yeah, to make sure you're paying attention.
Absolutely.
Right. God, am I that traumatized? Motherfuckers don't listen to me. Damn.
You're like, just bitch, just
Like,
listen to what I have to say.
Okay, so
Well,
Robert,
I mean, we're all guilty of that. I'll listen to you guys all the time,
you're the fucking
and
worst.
then
at it. What do you mean?
I'll listen to what you say, but then I won't do it.
No, listen, this is what James does, okay? I'm gonna give you all a fucking 101 on what the fuck James, I won't say your full name, but what James fucking says, or when he says, or this is what he does when he's listening to you, okay? This is how he receives information. I'll be like, hey, yo, James, hey, so get this, man. I went and I did this, and I got this, and then I did this, and he's like, and then you literally can spend fucking 20 minutes explaining this motherfucker something that you did. You might have fucking achieved something great, whatever. It could have been whatever. And then he'll nod his head and he'll say, yeah. And he'll be like, no shit. And then he'll be like, yeah. He's like, yeah. He's like, that's cool. Anyway, so blah, 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 blah.
No, you know what my problem is with that?
You haven't done it recently, but I remember you used to be real bad at it.
You know, one guy who called me out was Mr. Senator at my bar when he'd come to drink a lot.
Oh, no shit.
He was talking about something. I went through the whole cadence of that and then started something else. He's like, you didn't want to hear about what I had to say, did you? You just wanted to get your point across of what you were saying. I'm like, you want another drink?
Anyway.
Well, it just goes back to like, are you listening to listen or are you listening to respond? That type of shit.
But yeah, that's hard. Because another problem with me is like if I have something on my mind,
All you do is
I
think
have to
about
say
that.
it right away,
Yeah.
or I will forget it.
Yep.
And so it's not like I didn't hear what the other person said, but that I need to spit this out, or else that's it. It's gone. Because it happens so freaking often,
Right.
all the time,
But fuck what we said, right?
usually.
Hey, okay, anyway. I just wanted to let that out to let everybody know because I'm pretty sure, hey, you see?
Yeah, I heard
You see? Whoever was listening to it, I'm sure was like, man, this motherfucker's saying you know a lot. But I just wanted to let everybody know.
Oh, quick little
I'm trying so fucking hard. Yeah, I have no idea. What?
quick little intermission thing. Today's episode is sponsored by House of Games. Check it out. We're a little bit behind on uploads, like 2 months, but you know what?
But Cyberpunk 2077
we're
is
gonna
coming
hit
out
hard
next
on
week,
Cyberpunk.
and James is going to be doing playthroughs on House of Games, and you can find that on YouTube. It's literally HAUS of Games, and subscribe because when he posts his videos and stuff like that, he works really hard. He edits the shit out of it, and it's really good content. Very funny commentary too.
Oh,
so
definitely.
make sure that y'all check it out because, like I said, it's good shit. So if y'all listening to this, then y'all should be able to go to that fucking page and listen to that. All right.
You know, at some point we gotta figure out how to upload more stuff too.
Right, and eventually we're gonna be doing other things too,
Yeah.
especially with point shoot edit. Whenever we finally get all of our equipment and I finally can finish, doing with the scripts and stuff like that, because it takes way fucking longer than I thought it would. We'll definitely get started on that. But hey, one thing at a time, baby steps, right?
steps.
Rome wasn't
Baby
built in a
steps.
what, James?
A day.
Exactly. All right, back to Robert.
But it
all
was
right?
built on the bones of its enemies. And people forget to mention that.
Okay.
So consume thy soul of the enemies.
And this is where the intermission ends. Okay, Robert. Just to kind of give everybody a quick little run through, Robert is 28 years old and he's a virgin. Robert, another question I wanted to ask was, could a reason why you like what is it that, because I know you said early on you didn't want to pursue or kind of try anything because you were conscious of, your religion, your beliefs.
Yeah.
You're kind of trying to follow in your father's footsteps. But would you say that maybe any of the women that you spoke to or had any interest in just didn't meet your standards, whatever those standards might be?
It's possible that could have been the thing, because I don't want to say I have huge high standards, because I mean I'm no one to be so super picky about it. But I
Robert,
think
don't
another
say that,
thing,
Robert. You're a handsome ass motherfucker, dude.
Thanks.
If I was a girl, all right, I'd rock your world.
Thanks. Good to know.
Okay.
I think another big thing of it was I would just kind of not expect
Sorry.
not expect a relationship to fall into my lap, but I was just sitting with my hands under my my ass, not doing anything about it. I wasn't so proactive about it.
Right.
I kind of just, oh, that chick's kind of cute. I wonder if she'll ever come and talk to me about it. And that was a completely wrong way of thinking about it. Like, if I thought she was attractive, I should have acted on it.
Right.
And I didn't realize that until it was kind of like,
Did you ever, and I don't know if it's the same way now, but do you ever feel like the reason why that you maybe show any type of hesitance to speak to a woman, let's just say someone that you find attractive, do you think that maybe the reason why you show hesitance is because you kind of you kind of put it in your head that you kind of make a bigger deal of the attractiveness rather than just speaking to another human being?
yeah, I think that's a big part of it too.
You're kind of like, oh man, she's hot.
Yeah, and I was
hot.
like,
Oh,
there's
there's
no
no
way.
way she has.
Yeah.
I have any chance. Instead of
that
just being
gets through my head.
instead of just
Yeah.
being like, hey, what's up? What are you doing? Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
How you
if
doing?
it was, there's some kind of block in my head where that doesn't seem like something easy that I could just do.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I would need a few beers in me before I would say.
Are you? I mean, I guess this question's probably kind of obvious, but would you say that you're scared to talk to women? Or not necessarily
scared, because I'm not scared of women, because I can talk to women. It's just that I think with me, having a what do you call that? When you stay at home, or not stay at home, but you'd rather stay in. I forget
An
the word already.
introverted personality.
Person. That personality kind of carries into how I interact with people, and it doesn't really matter if you're a woman or a guy. It just, I'm not really that like adventurous in like talking to people. You know what I mean? And that kind of just folds in women into that kind of group.
It's real tough, because you knew I was going to say something, huh? Why is that?
I just know you like the back of my hand. Okay, good.
It's tough, like finding or going out to talk, right? Like you said, the introverted nature too.
Yeah.
And especially because what would mold well with you, in a sense, maybe, would be someone who's also introverted. But then neither of you are like socializing.
I wouldn't see your asses at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's easier nowadays with like the dating apps that are out there, but also it makes it really tedious because you see so many more women so readily available, and you're like, man, is it me? None of these women seem like my type, but it's not. It's just that they're so accessible now, in a sense. It makes it harder to really realize that I don't need to settle. I don't need to, or if you've disliked all the women on that or whatever, it's like, ugh.
It almost gives you this standard that you never had to begin with. You're looking at all these women, and you're like, look at her. But she does this. Look at her. But she's into this. When in reality, anybody that would have came to speak with you or show any signs of interest before that, you'd have been like, damn, what's up? Like, what's going on?
And eventually you get to know them more and more as you talk.
Right.
But here, their whole like kind of like life is right there.
You're looking at everything without context. So.
Yeah, and you see that, and you're like, oh no, never mind.
One thing, and you just see, and it's without context, but it's enough for you to have that newfound standard.
Yeah.
And you're like, nah, fuck that. You're like, I'm not into you. I'm not into that.
Yeah, because I've been on those apps, Tinder.
Fuck yeah, I know. I know you've been on those apps.
And I'm swiping and seeing stuff like, oh, she does this, I don't like that. She does this or something like that. Oh, she said this on her profile thing. Ugh, And
see, bro, and I've told you that for where we're at and for where you're at in your age and you're this is a situation that you're in, it's almost like you don't have that luxury to be picky. You know what I mean?
Because I think we've had this conversation before.
And that's not to say like, oh man, like, that's not saying anything negatively towards whatever woman or girl you were looking at, but just in the fact that what their interests are, if it doesn't pertain to you, like, who fucking cares? Maybe they're really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Maybe they really like something you're into. Maybe they really like playing the guitar, music. But they're Wiccans. Who fucking cares, Robert?
Don't even.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't even know why you had to bring that one up.
Do they like music too? But everybody likes music.
Yeah, like I've never met a person that says, "Oh, I hate music."
They're like, music, man, fuck music. I was gonna add to what you were saying with that. I forgot it. I'll get back in a second.
So, Robert, what do you think it is that needs to be done in order for you to get over that line, for you to get over that boundary, and finally get to where you need to be, to do what you need to do, okay? To have you tainted, get you a little corrupted, get a little corrupt in you. What do you think needs to happen? What do you think, in your own personal opinion, what do you think are the steps to get you in the right direction?
I have no idea, and that's why I'm at this position, like, because you guys give me so much advice. And
Robert, don't even say so much, because that ain't even like, goddamn, that's the tip of the iceberg, Robert. I could write a fucking novel on all the shit I've told you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And and I'm not complaining. Like, I'll do it again, and I'll do it again. I'll do it as long as it fucking takes. I sit there, and I'm like, what can I do this weekend to get Robert closer to getting some fucking bruises?
Is this actively in your mind?
Yeah. Oh yeah, all the time.
Robert, there's more behind the scenes than you realize.
Yeah.
From both of us.
Yeah.
Or mainly Jesus, but I've been trying to.
I really want it to happen for you. Not because I'm not telling you I want you to find your wife, okay? I'm not telling you I want you to find your soulmate. I don't want you to, I don't even give a fuck if it's a relationship. I don't want any of that. I just want you to have sex so that it's not this thing that you're having to fucking constantly like come over. You know what I mean? Having a fight with. Like, oh, what's it gonna be like? Like, oh man, oh, sex, oh, she's hot. Trust me, bro. When you've had sex, it's like taking a shower.
A very wet shower.
It's just
That feels
it's
really
just,
good.
It's just something you got to do, and then when you're done, you feel good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I guess that's a pretty
I mean,
good.
you do wipe yourself off at the end.
Right. You got to clean yourself. You got to dry yourself, and then you're fresh. It's the exact same thing. But see, you don't know that. You know what I mean? You're hearing me, and you're like laughing, but you don't like
Until it happens, I won't know what you mean.
You won't know.
Yeah.
It's just I can't stress it enough when I say that it's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
It feels great. It's fun, but it's nothing to be afraid of.
Well, even like for me, when I'm dating a girl or whatever, and we get to that point, what you got to think, and I think that this might help, is that it's not just you who's nervous about doing the do. They're in the same situation as you are.
Unless you're at a brothel, it's their job.
Right. True.
Correct.
Another day at the office.
Another day at the office. They say if you love what you're doing, you never work a day in your life.
Remember that, Robert?
So that's kind of part of it too, Robert. Like you're both in the same boat. The same.
And he's not even speaking like, he's talking about just another woman, not like someone who's a virgin also, just anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think at the age we're at now, that part of it, the card does become part of it now, in a sense, because it's like uncommon. That's why, because it's uncommon.
Like the great white buffalo.
The great white buffalo.
That's how I view you. You're untainted land. Any day, any moment now, I'm expecting Columbus to ride up on his ship and
good land too, Robert. Ready to be fertilized.
Oh God!
Take you and fertilize you. Fertilize you.
Wait, shouldn't it be the other way around?
Kill thousands of Indians in the process.
It's 2020 now, Robert. Anything can happen. But
yeah.
But that's something that that's. I don't see being a virgin as a disadvantage, but I believe it also depends on how you carry yourself and your mindset. If you go into it and you're constantly insecure and unsure of what you got, then obviously you're going to be at a disadvantage all the time.
Yeah.
You're going to constantly be thinking, oh man, fuck, I ain't shit, blah, blah, blah. And it might even be that harsh, but you know what I mean? I've told you over and over, it's just something that we got to keep working at. And I tell you all the time, James tells you, I don't want to pressure you. I don't want you
I get that.
I don't want you to ever do anything that you are uncomfortable with, ever. I would never in my life try putting you in a situation that you were not okay with.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, damn, Bobby, it's crunch time.
Yeah.
It's crunch time.
I get that. And
we're going to be 30 soon. And when you turn 30, I want it to be your dirty 30s.
Okay? My dirty
30s.
30s.
Yeah. I want you to be running through anything and everything. Okay? That's my goal for you. And if you find your soulmate, great. If not, I want you to be running down everything. That's what I aspire.
You're gonna be sipping on Henny, getting pink eye, Robert, at every turn.
That doesn't sound fun.
Pink eye.
No. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey.
You're gonna need prescription strength eye drops, Robert. Prescription.
And holy water.
And holy water. Yeah. Might sting. But
I remember what I was gonna say. I think what also helps, Robert, is that on those dating apps, don't like Jesus was saying, you never know. A couple sentences on a bio is going to determine your compatibility with someone. Like thinking about it like that, it's silly, right? What I've done in the past before is I have just swiped right. on all of them. And I took this from you.
You have, yeah. I coined it. Super swipe.
Right? But they also have super swipe as like a. They get
Ultimate
notified
swipe.
that
No,
you like
that's
them.
super like.
Oh yeah. Oh, but with that being said, sometimes that's what you got to do. It's like don't even read any of it. Just do it when you match with someone. Then decide, oh, should I start talking to them? If they're at least because attractiveness, to an extent, is part of compatibility, right? Because if there's a girl with a bigger mustache than me,
But she's awesome. You're gonna at least talk to her and maybe convince her to shave it, right?
maybe. I mean, that's it.
Motherfucker, did you just hear him? He's like, you're gonna let someone with a bio
No,
and
a bio.
completely
No, this
discredit
is
them?
after he's already swiped right on them.
Okay.
And this is when we matched.
Yeah, this is after they
This is
matched.
at this point. Then you look at the bio and be
Then he's
like,
like, oh, she
"Why?
has a mustache."
Why do you have a mustache? Tell me. I need to know."
You can know now.
No.
Let me know.
But that's if you even get to the point of messaging. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if they're hairy like that, I probably won't message them
Why?
because they're more manly than me, and the man's supposed to message first.
I guess that's true.
So,
Take that.
so you just do that, Robert. Because I've talked to some interesting people. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
And
People he didn't even like go on a date with or nothing. Just people that he just spoke to because they were cool to talk to.
yeah, we just talked for
Yeah.
months too. For months. And then it's like, okay, we'll just see from there. Like for me, that's almost another really good way to do it because there's no pressure. The whole sex thing isn't on your mind. I mean, it kind of is, but it's also, you're not going to talk about it and it's not part of the conversation or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, well, cool. Do they like the same things as I do? Do they watch the same shows? Do they play video games? Like, do they live nearby? Where's their family at? What do they like to do? Are they introverted, extroverted? Because then you start learning all that stuff, and it's at the convenience of your own time. Like, you're sitting on your couch, or you're on the toilet talking to them. You're like, this is awesome. I don't have to even dress up and go out.
But I will say, I know this year's been shitty and we haven't really been able to go do much. But I want to say that it is super important still that we do dress up and we go out.
Yeah.
Okay? Not for me, but James, not for James, but for you. Robert, would you ever be opposed to going to a brothel?
Mustang Ranch,
I'm
Nevada.
just curious. Like Mustang Ranch.
It's about an hour and a half from Las Vegas. Why I know this information, I can't disclose.
What do you think? Like what do you think about brothels?
I mean, sorry. I don't really oppose them.
Okay, but because this is my thinking, right? If you were to go to a brothel,
Are you
right?
trying just to get it out of the way?
Right. Just so some stranger can, pop it,
Pop it.
and then
Pop it.
you're gonna be like, you're gonna be all sweaty, and tired, because you just went like a full 5 seconds, and you're gonna be like, so that's what it's like. And then boom, you get to live your life like a fucking normal person and meet somebody and already know what sex is like. And sex doesn't have to be the talking point and topping point of your relationship.
Let me ask you this. Do you have friends, like female friends, that are close to maybe not necessarily you, but like to your family or whatever that you see a lot? I'm not talking about one girl in particular. I know that's what you're thinking. I know that's what you're thinking. I'm not, but I'm just saying in general. Because you never know. Maybe it's just a friend that can be like, you know what? Sure, let's do this. Like, to help you out.
Oh God, no! Not somebody that close.
Well, that's what you need right now, Robert. Now, if you want some strange from us, I'm not opposed. I'm.
I always knew.
Yeah.
I always knew.
I'm sorry,
dude.
but
Like one in Rome.
Who's the top and who's the bottom?
Does it matter?
I guess not.
When it's time to play ball, we switch sides.
oh God.
Wait a
That's
second.
true.
Does
Who's
that
that?
make sense?
Listen, any relationship that you get into right now, and the state that you're in, any relationship that you get into, whether she's a virgin, she's not, whatever situation she's in, however which way she views sex, you know how you view it.
Also, I need to put this disclaimer and just make it very clear.
Make it clear.
All three of us are extremely straight.
Super straight.
But like we can definitely joke really like.
We've
we're
known each other our
super
entire
secure.
lives.
Yeah.
I don't need to explain myself.
Well, they love you.
Anyway, oh, what was I saying?
Oh, you were saying something about a relationship.
No matter what the relationship that you get into for the female in the female's perspective, um, the only perspective that's gonna matter, or not matter, but really stick out is yours, and that's because if you're still in the situation that you are now, and I don't want to call it situation, I would just call it lifestyle that you're in now. Sex is gonna always be priority, the thing that's on your mind, the thing that you're always wondering about. And that's why I feel like you need to have sex before you get in a relationship. Honestly.
Well, I think because you never know, like with women who haven't before, and you're there first, it makes it different. Like they think, well, maybe this is the guy, because it's the significance of being the first time.
Okay, listen, Robert. If you were to date a girl who wasn't a virgin and you lost your virginity to them, you're basically, bound in blood to them. Like that's how think about it, man. Like you're gonna have sex with someone, you're gonna have that amazing feeling. It's gonna be an emotional connection. You're gonna be all like, oh, flustered. You went 5 seconds, and then the second round you went 10.
I like how you give me so much like
And
props.
I know I'm giving you way so much credit.
For like
And
2 seconds.
and you're gonna be think about it, and this is the person, regardless of how you feel about them or think about them outside of sex, this is the person that you've shared your first emotional connection with. So you're gonna be just so binded to them, dude. Like you're gonna be just so attached.
Like a puppy.
And that's what sucks. That's what I want you to avoid, man, because that is when you get your fucking heart broken. Stomped on. It's gonna get to the point, Robert, where you're like you said, like a puppy. You're gonna be doing whatever, something that's completely, harmless to you, but something that just might annoy her, and she's gonna maybe flip out on you, little tantrum. But to her, she just kind of like lost her cool for a little bit. But for you, you're like, like, oh, my heart. I'm not kidding, bro. I'm not kidding. That's the thing. That's what happens when you're in a relationship with someone who you lost your virginity to. From my experience, from what I've seen and from what I've heard. I mean, and it's obvious. I mean, that's like a really strong, like, moment that you share with somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't get to have that. I did. The reason why I'm giving you this advice is because I did what I'm telling you to do. I lost my virginity not in a relationship.
You smacked it out before?
Yes. And I don't want to say it's been perfect, but let's just say that I've lost touch with emotional and like physical, like
You kind of have them separated.
sex. When it comes to sex, there's no emotion to it. Like, like people are like, oh, like I want to make love, like that's not something I believe in. And I haven't believed in a very long time. But that's not something I want for you. That's just because of my past. But for you, I want you to experience that. But I feel like you should experience that with someone who's on the same level as you. Do you know what I mean? Not when you're a virgin and you have sex with somebody and then what? Then you're going to be like a little puppy dog following them around and they're going to have you like this. They're going to know that they got you wrapped around their finger and you're fucked. That's just my opinion. I don't know what you think.
One of the girls I kind of not dated, we were very casual, to be very clear. I actually, close to the end of us seeing each other, I was like, I just thrown out there like, because I don't know what she was wanting. I was like, hey, I got a friend who could, take a little stroll down Taco Lane.
Taco Tuesday?
Clearly she didn't like me saying that because, yeah, we don't talk anymore. But, yeah, it is so hard now because with my Sharona Cyrus. Yeah, I don't know if we can say that because usually those channels get flagged for saying the.
Well, you know what? This ain't no fucking regular channel. I don't give a fuck.
No, demonetized.
Oh. Well, that's not good. One thing that I thought about as I went to the bathroom and came back,
Uh-huh.
I wanted to ask Bobby Bones over here, Robert, what is it that you look for in a woman? What's your preference? What is it? What if you could think of your perfect girl, someone that you think would match well with you? What do you think of?
I have a better. I'm gonna add to yours. I'm sorry. Yeah, answer his question, but also, if you can name someone who is as close to the perfect girl as you would create, name them. Fictional or real?
But okay, hold on. To add on to yours now,
Odd.
Okay.
motherfucker.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be, if it's fictional? Isn't that just what it is?
No, but that's perfect because then you see and you're like, oh yeah, oh
She
yeah,
kind of looks like that person.
oh yeah, kind of.
Okay, but you don't think that's kind of like
Messed up.
shallow?
Yeah.
But everybody has their own type. Everyone has their own, regardless of.
Okay, Robert,
But how's that different than what you asked?
because I was talking about like in terms of like his personality.
No, yeah. This is also with personality.
Okay, fictional Robert, who matches you fucking personally?
This is like super putting me on the spot, but like
I already know.
No, okay. Who do you think it is?
Tris Marigold.
From The Witcher?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
That's why I said it. I just felt like that was the right one.
Okay,
No, but I mean,
in what though? For what reason?
for what reason?
Because not
her?
everybody knows who the fuck Tris Marigold is.
Well, just from the game's perspective, but like
From you, Robert.
for
listen,
me, and
listen.
looking for in a real person.
Games aside, all bullshit aside.
Okay.
Right now.
Fuck me, I guess.
Right now, yes, fuck you, James. Right now, what do you look for? What are you looking for right now? As a man that's almost gonna be 30, what are you looking for? What do you want? Tell me what you want.
What I want, what I really, really want.
What you really, really want. Tell me. Tell us.
In terms of like, I don't want to say perfect because that's impossible. You know?
That is impossible.
But I guess if I had to like, someone that's sweet, nice and man, it's super corny, but
Very corny.
has a this is hard, man, but that has like a good relationship with their family and stuff like that.
That's
and
important. Yeah.
it is important because for me, family's super important.
Oh, and I know that, man.
And
like I said, sometimes I envy you when I see how much your mom cares for you and your dad cares for you, because it's like I have a good relationship with my dad and my mom, but it's nothing of that like magnitude, dude. It's crazy.
yeah, yeah. But on top of that, with the whole family thing, I know that James said, about me being introverted and looking for another person that's kind of introverted. That's kind of not the case with me. Like, I want to find somebody that can kind of pull me out.
I agree.
Not like 100% of the time, but like, that kind of like rips me out of my comfort zone.
You need someone like, and I kind of have the same personality. You need someone that's okay with being home.
Yeah.
But also, when they want to go out, they go out.
Yeah, because that's me to a T also.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll stay home, if I want to. But
dude, I
like
love being home,
some guy
and I
comes,
love being I love being unbothered.
Like,
I fucking love
definitely.
it.
But like
I
if
love
you
it.
say, let's go out, this weekend,
Right, it's like,
with me and
bet,
James,
let's go.
I'm like, hell yeah, let's do that. And I want to
we gotta
find
wait for James'
somebody.
bitch has to get out at fucking 11. And then we get to the fucking bar, and they're like, "Oh, we're closed."
I know, right?
Every time.
Yeah, right. Because we're sitting there waiting for him, and we get out. It's close to like
We're all
11.
dressed, and we're like, "Oh yeah, let's
Yeah,
go in
let's do
here. We're
this.
gonna scope it out." And we
We get
open
there,
the
it's
door, and the lady brooming the sidewalk's like, "Oh yeah, we're at max capacity, and we're about to close."
Yeah, we got like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
To
we got
close.
10 minutes to close.
Dude, it sucks. I can never. We can't. Like, if it's with me, forget it. It'll never happen. It really sucks because I miss out on a lot.
Yeah,
Whatever.
but yeah, I want somebody to be able to pull me out like that, and go to like Vineyards or something like that, or walk down Main Street, or go to like a what do you call those, the national parks, like
Right.
hiking.
But you know what, Robert? But you know what? This is also all these things that you're saying, right? That you want in a person.
Yeah.
Going hiking, going to vineyards, going out, being outgoing, but also being introverted in some aspect, right? These are all things that you need to do.
Yeah.
Without that person.
Without that person. See, because I haven't done that yet.
I know. These are things that you need to do before
By
you
myself?
expect them. Yeah. I mean, I'll go hiking with you. We'll go fucking hiking with you. I don't give a fuck. I'll go to vineyards with you. I'll go wine tasting with you.
It's also about...
me and Gabby and James and Genesis will all go with you. That ain't the thing, man. But my thing is before you search for someone that does these things,
I have to do them too.
you got to do them too, man. Not by yourself, but by yourself.
Yeah.
You got to do them. You hit me up or you hit James up. Be like, hey, let's go do this. And guess what? I'll be fucking down. He'll be fucking down if he doesn't have to work. If I don't have to work, we'll be down. Always.
Here's another thing to think about. Your time split between work, your private time, and your social time. Your private time is like gaming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or movies or whatever. Your work time is at a place you've been at for a very long time. And your social time is with your family. Is there an opportunity to meet a girl with those three facets of your life?
No.
Right?
Yeah.
So, doing that and expecting a change, there won't be a change.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's gonna be,
and I've realized that, and it's really
it's hard for you for something to come to terms with, but there's gonna be something that you have to sacrifice.
Yeah.
And it can't be your job.
No.
And it can't be, or I forgot all the other shit you
The
named.
family, the social part of it.
Yeah, the social part for the family, and then what's the other one?
Private.
The private time.
So it's got to either be private or social time with your family.
Yeah.
Because families, and from all my breakups, like the family's always there.
Right.
Your close friends are always there.
Your mom and your dad are not going to be like, oh, screw Bethel. He hasn't came to see me in a month. You know what I mean? That's never going to happen, dude. When you find somebody and you're out and you're being yourself and you're being, we're still young relatively. They're going to understand. Do you think your mom wants you to be alone for the rest of your life?
God, no.
Do you think your dad, Mr. Suave, wants you to be alone for the rest of your life? I don't think so. And I don't want you to be alone for the rest of your life. Like, we're committed. We're committed to making sure that you aren't in the position that you are in.
This is different, but when you were working at the restaurant, when you were running the bar, that was an opportunity because it was different, because you were interacting with people.
It was different. Yeah, dude, it was a whole nother shebang. I will say that.
Yeah.
You felt it too, I'm sure.
Oh, definitely.
You were having to talk with this person, that person, customers, everything. Yeah. It was different.
And sometimes stuff like that, take it from me and Jesus, who have had a lot of different jobs.
So it's in you. You're completely capable. The opportunities in front of your face. You just got to do it, man.
I just got to act on it.
You have to act on it.
Yeah.
And I can honestly tell you, we won't be the only persons that tell you that. Only people that tell you that, You got to do it. Sound like a broken record by this point, but you have to.
Well, even if it's like changing the way you do those same things, like if you're playing games, okay, well, look at games that you like to play online. Because how do we meet Sammy from Colorado?
Yeah,
We just invited random people to our chats, played with them. Who knows? There'll be that random girl, because there are plenty of girls that play games too. I mean, the vast majority are men, and it's just sausage. But you find it, and it takes a little bit. But wouldn't that be ideal? To be like, you know what? I love playing this game, and then wow, you love playing this too. What about all these other games? And it's cool. It's so cool.
I just know that I want everything I've experienced sexually and stuff like that, for better, for worse, I want you to experience. You have to experience it. James wants you to experience it. Gabby wants you to experience it. Sammy wants you to experience
Oh my
it.
God, little Sammy.
We all do.
You're like, Daddy, what is he doing? Are they fighting?
Yeah, no, dude, I really want it for you, and like I said, we're devoted to making sure that you're as happy as possible, because that's our job as your best friends.
Yeah.
I mean, you're like our brother. James is like my brother. You're my brother. Not like my brother. You're like my brothers. So it's almost not even my job. It's like in my DNA to make sure that y'all, are happy.
Mm. I just heard that from here.
I bet I won't pick it up though.
Car gurus.
Yeah, you're fine.
But I
You're
hear
fine.
It's my job. It's in my DNA to make sure that y'all are happy all the time, and I'll do whatever it takes to make sure that happens. So for you, I mean, I'll do whatever is needed of me from you to help you in any way.
Yeah.
And that brings me to my last question: is like, what can I do? What can I do? What can James do to help you? To make this easier, to where you're not so reluctant to get out there and to be the Robert that I know you fucking are. If there was a woman, dude, who could be around the Robert that James and I are around all the time, it blows my mind that you wouldn't find anybody. I swear to God. You're like literally one of the most humble, fucking caring, respectable,
Stop.
fucking nicest guys, dude. Fuck, I'm not kidding. And that's why this blows my mind that you're not putting yourself out there, because, dude, anybody.
And yeah, that's
what I mean?
you just pretty much hit the nail on the head right there. It was, I'm not putting myself out there. I'm not
need
making
to.
myself available.
You're well, the way you're looking at it is oh my God, man, like, oh man, do I have a shot? Do I have this? But what the way you need to think is, man, I am literally like the person that I'm looking for could be out there, but because of me, like, they're missing out in as much of an opportunity as I am.
You're doing them a disservice by
Mhm.
not putting yourself out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what do James and I need to do? What do we need to do, man? And it could be anything. I don't care if we need to go out every weekend. I'll do it, man. I'll do whatever.
I think
I'll fit in your pants if like you go on a date. I'll do whatever.
What about handing you, Robert? You're
Working like a puppet.
Working like a puppet. There you go.
oh god.
What do I need to do, bro? What do we need to do to make?
I think you pretty much just said it right there.
What do I need to do? Work you like a puppet.
No, before that. Just I guess going out more. And I know it's kind of hard with all our schedules and stuff. Like
I'll make the time. James will make the time. It don't matter, man.
yeah,
We'll do it.
because I think that's just what it is. It's just instead of me, just staying at home the weekend or something like that.
And it's not
Going
even
out.
and it's not even about going out and like, oh, all right, Robert, tonight's our mission tonight is
No,
for you to get
no.
pussy.
Yeah.
No, it's I just want you to go out and I want you to talk to people other than us.
Yeah.
That's the start.
Because for me too, I've never been in that situation where I've gone out and have done that, nor have I dated anyone that I've just gone out and met. But like Jesus was saying, that I think builds your own confidence socially, so that when the time comes to talk to a girl
It's easy.
or whatever, not talk, but to
Or a
date
guy.
or whatever, or guy,
I'm just kidding.
God,
Just
no.
kidding.
it is because this is another
It's
day.
just another conversation.
Yeah. And I think that's what I need to get like drilled into my head is that it's not a big deal.
And it's not. Let me tell you, it is not.
Because when you date enough too, you realize you're like, you shouldn't be the one nervous. It's like, what can they bring to the table as well?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna give you your best regardless.
It's not a one-man show, dude. It's not. It's not. It's really not a big deal. And you'll learn that as you go. And that's why I'm saying that's why I'm telling you, what can we do to make that happen for you? And if we need to go out more, we fucking will. If I need to grab you by your fucking arm and drag you to a group of people, not just girls, whatever, just different people, and start a conversation, I'll fucking do that. I don't care. If it's going to help you long term to build that confidence, to get over that hump that's, your anxiety about your virginity and getting to know people and having conversation. What am I going to talk about? What am I going to ask next after I ask them how they're doing? Do I ask them where they're from? Whatever. All that bullshit. It's going to be second nature. You're going to just carry conversation. And that's what my goal is. Before you getting laid, anything like that, I would just want you to be able to speak to whoever the fuck you want, whenever you want. And I'll tell you what really helped me working in customer service. That's probably the best decision I could have ever made, is working in customer service, because you have to know how to talk to people to be successful at your job. And I know that's something that you don't have because you work, in a factory, but you still talk to people.
I interact with a lot of people that come to pick stuff up.
Real quick, I wanted to ask real quick, before we close out, how are things with the nasty?
I think those 2 weeks in quarantine really helped a lot.
In a good way or bad way?
Depends on how you're looking at it.
I'm not sure.
It separated me from her long enough to be over it.
Where you kind of saw that she was kind of
leading me on,
leading you on, and kind of just
have me there just for
her own comfort.
Yeah.
Good.
And the 2 weeks, she messaged me like Monday night of my quarantine, and she was texting me about all that stuff. But after that, I kind of just the 2 weeks happened.
Nasty's the one you work with?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the only person you fucked over those entire 2 weeks was me and James.
Sorry.
This fucking podcast. I'm sorry, everybody. Y'all had to wait a whole month because Robert decided to fuck around and get quarantined. But that's all we have for today. Today's episode, the 28-year-old virgin. This is your boy Seuss, Robert, James. It's been great. Thank y'all for listening. Next week's episode will be up on Sunday. I'm trying to post every Sunday. It gives me some time to kind of go through things and fix things. But thank y'all for listening. Guys, you have anything you want to say?
Yeah, if you're on like YouTube or another place that allows comments and stuff, be sure to comment, share, like, subscribe.
Feed the algorithm.
Because it feeds the algorithm. And that's it for me. Now,
the final words from the man himself, the 28-year-old virgin, Bambino.
What?
Close this out, baby.
That's it for Unapologetic. Thank you guys for listening.